According to the National Electrical Code, specifically Section 110.26A3, the installation described constitutes a violation. NEC 110.26A3 states that equipment shall not be installed in a position where it can be damaged by the operation of other equipment or where doors or panels can be prevented from being opened or closed. The described situation involves 100 amp and 400 amp bus disconnects mounted vertically one above the other with a 10-inch depth difference between them. This creates a potential hazard. The operation of the larger 400 amp disconnect could potentially damage the smaller 100 amp disconnect located below it, or vice versa. This is because the extended depth of one disconnect could interfere with the other during operation or maintenance. Furthermore, the depth difference could obstruct the full opening or closing of the disconnect doors or panels. This obstruction could hinder access for inspection, maintenance, or emergency operations, thereby violating the code requirement for clear and unobstructed access. To comply with the National Electrical Code and ensure electrical safety, the disconnect should be installed in a manner that prevents damage from the operation of other equipment and allows for the full opening and closing of doors or panels. There are several ways to achieve compliance. Firstly, the disconnects can be mounted side by side rather than vertically stacked. This eliminates the risk of one disconnect interfering with the other during operation. Secondly, if vertical stacking is unavoidable due to space constraints, appropriate spacers can be used to create adequate clearance between the disconnect. The spacers should be of sufficient thickness to ensure that the operation of one disconnect does not impact the other and that the doors or panels can be fully opened and closed without obstruction. Thirdly, consider the working clearances required by the NEC. Section 110.26 outlines specific working space requirements based on voltage and potential hazards. Ensure that the installation provides adequate working space around the disconnects, allowing electricians to safely operate and maintain the equipment. This includes sufficient depth, width, and height clearances. Fourthly, verify that the installation meets all other applicable NEC requirements, such as proper grounding, overcurrent protection, and labeling. A thorough inspection by a qualified electrician is essential to ensure compliance with all relevant codes and standards. Fifthly, consult with a qualified electrical engineer to assess the specific installation and determine the most appropriate method for achieving compliance with NEC 110.26A3. An engineer can provide detailed calculations and drawings to ensure that the installation meets all safety requirements. In summary, the vertical stacking of disconnects with a significant depth difference presents a potential violation of NEC 110.26A3. To ensure compliance, consider mounting the disconnects side by side, using spacers to create adequate clearance, providing sufficient working space, and verifying that all other applicable NEC requirements are met. A qualified electrician or electrical engineer should be consulted to ensure that the installation is safe and compliant.